Russ. We're on the road again. Yep. I've gone about 4.3 miles already. Testing out the new Magicycle battery once again. I'm gonna have to stop here at the stop sign because we got tons of cars. Alright. So where are we heading today? Burping up breakfast here. Yeah, where are we heading today? Well, we're heading to Busse Woods right now. Now, I have not been back to Busse Woods since the incident with the person who said I wasn't allowed to be on the Busse Woods trail with her. And yeah, I figured I'd go out there because it's a long, I think it's about 12 miles to go around in a circle. And, you know, to test out a battery, just a continuous ride might be good. So I'm using the Apple Maps to get there this time, just to find out if it picks roads that are decent and safe. And it should really pick out pretty much the same roads. What I usually put down for an entrance point is the Portillo's. It's right on the corner, Golf Road and what is that road? Wilkie Road? New Wilkie Road? I never remember. So yeah. So the new Magicycle battery is the battery that comes on the Magicycle Cruiser Pro. So it's 20 amp hours. I'm sorry, the old battery is 15 amp hours. So it's 52 volts, 20 amp hours. Yeah, I'm still not awake today. What time is it right now? Let me see. 8:55 in the morning. Temperature is coming close to about 70 degrees now. This should be a fairly nice day. So I figured it'd be a good day to go ahead and give it a test out again. Now, I have been pedaling at pedal assist level 3, which you might know I have set up fairly high. I think it's over 50%, if I'm not mistaken, for pedal assist level, 52, 53%. I set it for that because I typically ride relatively quickly, but I've been pedaling conservatively and throttling very conservatively. Usually I use a throttle just to get up over, you know, if I'm starting out from a dead stop, I'll use the throttle to do that, and it usually hits the 900 watt mark, which we all know might actually be more than 900. It just, the meter maxes out at 900. And so, then I'll back off from that once I get my start up. This is why you usually don't see me messing with the gears. It's sitting currently at 7th gear, and the reason is because on such a high pedal assist level, 7th gear is all what's needed. I really don't need anything lower. Now, you might wonder how I get started up. You know, I'm not using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Well, that's because the throttling pulls me up to that level, and I don't need to use that any further. So, not everyone does it that way, but I do. It's just easier for me. And as a repeat, as I usually do, I don't really use my bike for the type of exercise that most people use it for. I use it just to keep my knees moving because of my knee replacement, so I don't have the same leg strength as you guys. Now, an interesting that I've noticed on this trip as well as the last one I took to test out the battery is I keep my eye on that wattage meter, which is right up on the top upper left corner of the speedometer, and it tells me how much watts I'm using when I'm having some type of assist. The minute you start out, even if you kind of like coast for a bit and you start up again, if you're not moving a certain pace, it's going to hit that 900 watts, and then it'll start going backwards. It'll come further down after that. Alright, so FedEx guy is letting me go, so I'm gonna go. And So it'll eat up some of your power and then drop backwards. And I'm finding that most of my pedaling seems to hover around the 300 or so watt range. It'll go between 250 to say 400, something like that on average. So let's just say about 300 something. Alright, so we gotta take a left over here. So it is picking some roads that are a little bit different than I'm used to. Let's see what it picks for me. I was debating where I was going to go today. I was just going to ride around this general area on the streets, but then kind of thought about it. I said, well, a continuous ride might be a better thing. So the biggest continuous ride we have is Busse Woods. Now, a couple of you guys actually did a Google Maps thing on Busse Woods just to find out where I am. And yeah, it's a big forest preserve. People have mentioned that, well, that's one big path, you know. Yeah, it's huge. That's why we do it. But I've got to travel to get there. I don't take my car and then put my bike on a rack, as you know, because I don't have that ability at this point. So I've got to ride my bike there, and then I ride around for 12 miles. Give or take, something like that. I think it's around 12 miles. So it takes me a while to get there, of course. It's okay, it kind of preps you, gets you ready for the ride of the day. So yesterday's ride was interesting. If you watched that video, you would have saw that deer just go running across. That car wasn't sure what to do. I think because I didn't want to hop off the bike. I was slowly crawling and just waiting for him to move. But you know, he's thinking, oh, this guy's going to keep going. But no, I didn't. So yeah, if you watched yesterday's video, you saw the deer run across my path. And that's the first time a deer actually did that. I thought that was interesting. It really made my day. I mean, I like seeing the deer out there, but I had never seen one actually run across while I was there. So I did the thing that our viewer Dan had told me to do. He says, if you make the sound of sheep, the deer will stop and look to see if there's some injured fawn. Sure enough, after I made that sound, it looked up and looked at me and was looking to see if anything was up. Then he continued on. But yeah, it was fun. I would have never thought making a sheep sound would be something you do when you see deer, but he says it happens all the time, and he's right. You guys got to try that next time you see a deer, okay? And then you got to make a comment. Let me know that you did it. Let Dan know that you did it as well. Okay. So we got to stop here. Wait for the cars. Cars not so bad. Just got to wait for a couple of them to go by. And one of them stopping for me, so thank you very much. I always wave goodbye and thank you. Yeah, this is not the same way that I typically go to get there. We'll see how it does it. Yeah, you need a landmark. So the entrance that I get on to get towards Busse Woods is very close to the Portillo's hot dog place that's there. Now, some of you guys have mentioned too that it is not illegal to go through a drive-thru with your bike. It's just that some places will not allow you to do it. Yeah, I've heard both stories. Some people said outright it's illegal. Others have said it's just that maybe that establishment does not allow you to do it due to liability issues. Yeah, okay. Otherwise, I might do it. I mean, there's a Portillo's hot dog place right there. I mean, it'd be real easy to just jump in line. And really, if you think about it, if you're local, Portillo's usually has a guy outside taking your order. I could just ride up to that guy, tell him what my order is, and then pick it up at the window. I don't see why that would be a problem. But because we don't know whether that's allowed or not, we're not going to do that. Okay, this is Central Road. Oh, maybe it is Central.
At the next light, turn left.
No, I don't know. Yeah, it's okay. We're taking Central to get to New Wilkie Road. Is that what it's called? Wants me to take a left. Now I got a choice here. I could either get into the left turn lane and take that left, or cross the road to the stoplight and then cross the road that way. Based on the stoplight, I think, you know what? Oh, there's a guy in the left turn lane. Let's take the left turn lane. Now, I don't know if other people do this, but I do it. I just get into the left turn lane with the turn cars and turn with them. So straight ahead, if you look to the right, that's Chopstick. That's the restaurant we went to for the Chinese restaurant. This is why at one time, after the incident with the lady at Busse Woods, I went and got some Chinese carryout. Maybe I'll do that again. We'll see. So today, my wife is off of work. She took the day off, and she's not riding with me. She usually doesn't. People have asked me why she doesn't. She doesn't like being on camera, and I do ride a lot farther than she does typically. And of course, she doesn't have the battery too to do what I'm doing right now. She has a rad mini step-thru 2 with their stock 48 volt 14 amp hour battery. Well, we've got a lot more battery with us than she does, so she could never do what I'm doing. But besides that, she doesn't ride like I do. She just rides, and we go to the grocery stores, and that's about her extent of riding. So that's okay. Not everybody's into it. She likes it, but she's not going to do what I'm doing. And she's got an oil change scheduled today at 11 o'clock, so she's going to be off doing that while I'm off riding. Now, typically when she takes off, I usually try to take it easy and spend a day with her, but she's got oil change going on, so I figured either I bring that car in for an oil change for her or she does. But I told her if she did it, it gives me a chance to go out and ride and get another video out for you guys. So she said, go ahead and go ride. So here we are. Probably by the time she gets home, I'll be back as well. So now, I'm not throttling hard. Typically, as you know, on streets like this, I try to throttle hard to get off the street as fast as I can. But I'm trying my best this time to get an idea of what the battery does when I'm not throttling hard. Now, the last time we did this, I got 42 miles out of the battery before it finally kicked out and died. All right, and that brought it to a 7% battery level. We're still at 100% right now. We're at 7.6 miles. And we went out to Flick Park in Glenview. But again, as you know, we have some really fast roads we have to deal with, so I was throttling very hard to compete with the cars there. I decided I'm not going to do that again. I want to find out what this battery can do if we don't do that hard throttling. If we're doing mostly pedal assist level 3 for me, which is a little bit over 50% pedal assist level, and then throttling just to kind of get past stoplights, stop signs, that kind of thing, and then keeping the pedal assist at 3. So I'm thinking if all goes well, we should pass the 42-mile mark. Now, as you know, we said that Magicycle claims 60 to 80 miles on the battery, which of course I'm far shy of, but you got to remember too, your weight plays a factor, and I'm a pretty heavy guy. Your terrain plays a factor, how fast you ride, all sorts of issues will change your total mileage. And of course, since I was throttling really hard on several areas, that ate into the battery too. So when I'm not pedaling, I'm throttling very softly so that it kind of emulates the same wattage usage as pedaling at PAS 3 for me. Now 3 for me is not the same as 3 for you, because I've set my settings up a little bit differently. I set it up so that I get about a 52, I think it's 52% pedal assist level at pedal assist level 3. Because as you know, I usually go pretty fast, so not this time. We're going to be a little more conservative. So I want to see if I can get more than 42 miles. Now I do have the second battery. It's in the rear rack. It's inside Magicycle's fireproof case that they provided for me. I'm going to go up the sidewalk here. Well, maybe I didn't need to do that since the light just changed for me. Let's see if nope, it changed back so quickly. The reason I'm doing this is because there's a button here. I'm going to push the button for crossing. That way we know that for sure we will get a green light eventually. And a crosswalk signal. Let me grab some water at this point since we're stopped. All right, 8 miles to get here. Still at 100%. So yeah, the lady kind of killed my whole Busse Woods experience. So this is the first time going back. We'll see if anyone else says anything. I hope not, but I wouldn't be surprised if we hear something. Like I said, Busse Woods has been the most negative place I've ever actually ridden. In the general areas we go to, around the 3-mile path and everything, I never have that experience. People are always very friendly. They say hello to you, they smile, pull their dogs out of your way, all sorts of stuff, but that doesn't seem to be experienced over here. I don't know why that is. I don't know why people are different over here, but we'll see. We'll see what we get this time. Now I'm going to try to keep my speed down in the 15-mile-an-hour or slower ranges if I can. I will probably peak over it a little bit, I'm sure. Because sometimes you don't look at it and it goes over pretty easy. It's not hard to go over. I have the ability to go. This guy's letting me go, so I'm going because we have the crosswalk thing. But right turner guys sometimes don't follow that. But at least this guy honked me to tell me to go ahead and go. So that's good. That's good. Alright, so we are done with this map, so I've got to get the map out of here. Because where we were standing, that was Portillo's Hot Dogs. Yeah, it's easier if you have an address that you put in. So I just find an address that's close to where I want to go, and that's my destination point. Alright, let me get rid of this map. For some reason, I always have a problem getting rid of the map when I'm riding. Alright, watch this. Use the right hand and it's fine. Use the left hand, I don't. It's probably because of the angle somehow. When I'm using my left thumb, it doesn't accept it for some reason. So this is, of course, not exactly Busse Woods yet, but it's close enough. It's close enough to get there. This is one of the entrance points. There's several entrance points, but this is one of them. So how's the kid doing on the fence? Well, he started using the sprayer, and I will tell you that the sprayer is a lot faster, but I'm telling you, the kid takes his time. Yeah. And we both had noted that he spends a lot of time on his phone rather than painting. Now, we didn't really notice that when he was doing the two other sides. We really weren't paying attention, but based on the side he's working on, we could see him very easily through our patio door. And yeah, he'll spend 20 minutes on his phone. So he's just taking his sweet little old time, even though he could finish that thing a lot faster with the sprayer. I'm not saying anything. I'm just letting him do what he needs to do. Others would have said, you know, if you hired a regular company, it would have been a lot faster and done with. True, but I tried to give a kid a break, you know, give him some spending money, and he hasn't been paid, of course. He won't get paid until he's finished. So the longer he takes is the longer it takes before he gets paid. And we upped his pay 3 times our original quote when we saw how long it was going to take. But now, as I think about it, we probably should have just doubled it, and it would have been fine with somebody else. But since he is taking so long, he may feel that it's worth more. But the thing is, it's only worth more if you're working constantly, right? I mean, if you were working for somebody like a company and you were doing what you were doing like that, yeah, you'd probably be fired by now. I mean, really, it's been the whole summer. He only has three sides of a fence to paint. So he did, I'm not sure what the total amount of panels that need to be painted. I'm going to say, let's say 8 or 9, okay, if you include the gate and everything. Let's say 9. He's done about 2.5. And that was from, well, he's supposed to have been there at 10 o'clock. He didn't show up until about 10:35, 10:40. I had to text him a second time asking him if he was coming. And then I think he finished up at about 6 o'clock. But again, you know, we took a lunch break, and I usually give him something for lunch since I'm eating lunch too. Gave him some pulled pork. I smoked up some pulled pork on our smoker. And then he took his sweet time on the other stuff. So 2.5 panels. I think with the sprayer, he should have been able to do at least 4 or 5 panels that day, at least. But like I said, that thing really sucks up the paint. I mean, even after he sprayed it, it looks like it's white because we're spraying it white. And then give it 30 seconds, it looked like it's gray again because it's just like it sucked it in. So he's got to spray it again. So he's got to spray it several times in order for it to actually look white. But I'm telling you, it's a lot faster than him using a brush, and he knows it too. So he borrowed this sprayer from his dad, and started to clog up a little bit, so he had to stop and rinse it all down and everything. So I think our mistake was we took a lunch break, and that lunch break is enough to start getting that paint to clog up in there. So I told him, I says, all right, once you start the sprayer next time, don't stop. I mean, just keep spraying everything until you can't anymore, because otherwise you take a chance of that thing clogging up again. So people have asked why there were so many people walking on the Busse Woods path. I mean, there's like people camped out on the left side over there. I don't know what's going on over there. So yeah, last time they had some type of special event. I didn't know that special event was happening. It was for the Lions Club, who deals with blindness and stuff. So, you know, people were saying, you know, why are you riding when there's so many people walking and things? Well, hey, I didn't know what was going on. There was nothing advertised that you can't get onto the path. You don't know it until you run into them, right? But several people noted that, these guys who are walking are eating up both sides of the path, left and right, and so people going in the other direction can't get through. That's true. That actually is not my fault at that point. That's the walker's fault of not staying on one side of the road. That's almost like driving your car on both sides, left and right, and expecting the other guys to get out of your way. Well, I think if you have an event like that, you should stay to the same side. I mean, even people walking, you'd be walking into the people walking into the other direction, right? So they don't do that kind of stuff out here that often, but that was just a luck of the draw that there was people doing that. Okay, now she had earbuds on. You see the wires hanging from it, so she didn't hear anything. Now, even if you yelled on your left, I don't think she'd hear it. She didn't hear the bell. Usually the bell will cut through pretty good. I can hit the bell from a distance, and it does pretty well. See, now we're hitting around 20 miles an hour. That's because you're going down a hill. But I've been trying my best to stay within 15 miles an hour. I'm trying to get a good idea of the battery, so I don't really want to go, speeding down here at this point. Here's another thing people said too. They said, well, your bike is actually illegal on the path because it's a Class 3 bike. Yeah, well, okay. Only Class 2 bikes are technically allowed on Busse Woods. Well, the Magicycle actually ships with the Class 2 thing, but of course you can unlock it and change that. But the thing is, if you're trying to stay within 15 miles an hour, whether it's Class 2 or Class 3, what difference does it really make? It's a technicality at that point. I think what they're really trying to say is, don't go fast. That's all they're basically telling you. Don't do 28 miles an hour on our 15 mile an hour zone. Yeah, that's understandable. Questions came up, will the police actually stop you and check your bike out? I don't think they have time for that. And people mentioned that too. They've actually talked to police officers before, asked them whether they would do that, and they said they got better things to do than to check people's bikes. It's true. They do. They have better things to do than just to see if your bike has been unlocked to a certain level. And really, unless they know specific bikes, I think they do target certain bikes. All right, like for instance, if you have a Super 73, I saw a Super 73 out here before, or if you have a Suron, those bikes are those bikes are designed for speed. Okay, and out in California, people would recognize it because a lot of those kids buy those bikes and they go tearing down the roads, at 30 miles an hour or whatever they're doing, or faster. So maybe law enforcement would recognize that style of bike. It's like a trail dirt bike type of look. They might stop those guys, but a regular guy on a regular bike like this just looked like a bicycle, really. The hassle of a bike rider over Class 2 or Class 3 is kind of a pain, And if a guy's not riding real fast, do you really want to stop him and say, well, your bike technically can't be here? Yes, they got better things to do than to do that. All right. The whole point is that I wanted to take the Magicycle out here because I've never done it. I don't think I've ever done it before. Maybe I did. Maybe I did once. I'm not sure. Because I was thinking, I have enough battery to get around the 12-mile path, ride here, ride back. I mean, if you think about it, if it took 8 miles to get here, that's another 8 miles to get back home. That's 16 miles to add to 12 miles around. You're at 28 miles right there. And the single battery might just barely make that based on how I ride. So I didn't want to risk it. I don't like bringing the batteries to the edge of where it's going to die, and maybe I might make it home, maybe I might not. As I said before, I can't pedal this bike when there's no battery running it. I literally can't do it. I was literally four blocks away from home when that battery died out last time. I couldn't pedal it. So I have to have battery power with the bike. And now the weight of the bike is heavier because the 20 amp hour battery is heavier than the 15. And I carry both the 15 and the 20 amp hour battery plus all of my tools and everything. So I add a lot of extra weight to the bike, and the bike is fairly heavy as it is. I can't remember the actual weight of the bike. Is it like 77, something like that? Well, I guarantee you it's more than that now because of the added battery and the tools. Let's estimate, I don't know how heavy the battery is. Let's say 12 pounds. Okay. That would bring us to 89 pounds right there. Tools, let's add another 5 pounds. Let's say 94, 95 pounds. This bike is 8. And then, okay, front rack, water bottles, let's say 100 pounds. This bike is now about 100 pounds. And then you add my weight, which is around the 255-ish range, something like that, give or take. That's a lot of weight. I don't want to be pedaling that thing with no battery. It would be tough. I mentioned too that it's not the weight of the bike that makes it hard to ride. It's the weight of the bike when you don't have a battery running that makes it hard to ride. All right, so Busse Woods. Yeah, maintaining around the 15 mile an hour range, give or take. Now, I am kind of ghost pedaling, even at this range, because, like I said, it's set up for like 53. Let's drop down to pedal assist level 2. Then at least I can feel what I'm riding. But man, we drop in speed dramatically. Man, we drop down to like 11 miles an hour then. I guess if you're going for yeah, we can't do this. if you're going for exercise, that's better. I'm not going for the exercise. I told you guys that. I'm just going for the sake of going. I like riding my bike for distance. I like going places. I like to get there as fast as I can. I just like being out and riding around. I don't really do it for the exercise. I just do. Okay, you could say moving your knee and moving your leg, that is exercise. No, I'm talking about the type of exercise to lose weight. All right, I don't do it for that. First off, it's this additional strain on my leg and my knee, so I don't do it because of that. So I don't want to go too slow. I want to have some decent speed, see things, enjoy the wind blowing up against me, you know. And quite frankly, you know, if you go on Busse Woods on a weekday, today, what is today? Today's Friday. Usually you have less people, but sometimes, you know, you're talking about Fridays, people take the day off and people will be out here, but I so far haven't seen that many people. Maybe it's too early in the morning for them. They're still sleeping. So actually, to keep my speed down and still not be tired out from the pedaling, the small amount of throttling to keep me going is actually my preferred method at this point. I'll pedal when I can. And so now we got heavy traffic here. On your left. Guy fishing out here. Never caught anything at this spot. I've tried fishing at over this bridge as well, and no. I think if you rented a boat, you have a better chance. Oh, let me say one more time too. People sometimes said, you know, I gotta speed up a little bit here. You're too close to these people as you pass. Or not. These bike paths are fairly wide, and the camera does sometimes make it look like you're right on top of them, but you're not. There's plenty of space. I don't know how wide these things are. I would say at least 3 feet on each side, so at least 6 feet from edge to edge. Probably longer than that. I think if I laid across, I wouldn't even hit it. I can't estimate let's say 7 feet. I have no idea. So yeah, when you pass people, you have space. All right, I'm just gonna continue on. I don't know how long we've been keeping this video going so far, but yeah, there's not a whole lot going on right now. I'm just gonna keep going until I exhaust the battery. So I think I'll say my goodbyes to you guys right now and just ride around, and then maybe pick us up another time. If anything exciting happens on, I'll turn on the camera and finish it off. How's that? Otherwise, I'll say my goodbyes now. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. We are moving up. I think as of this morning when I looked, we're a little over 9,300 subscribers now. So thank you very much for subscribing. And if you haven't done it, go ahead and do so and help me out. All right? Talk to you guys next time.